Stop rewriting your resolutions. You're rehearsing to fail. Let me introduce myself. I'm not your motivation. I'm not your discipline. I'm not your vision board. I'm your brain. I'm the thing inside your skull that kept your ancestors alive long before planners, podcasts, or productivity gurus existed. My job was never to make you successful. My job was to keep you alive with the least amount of energy possible. And every January, you do something adorable. You promise change. Big promises, clean promises, written slowly, dramatically in a brand new notebook. You don't fail your resolutions. You perform them. And I let you perform. Because performance feels productive without requiring me to rewire anything. And here's what should make you uncomfortable. I already know on January 1st whether you'll quit by February. Let me give you a number people love to quote and never actually think about. Over 90% of New Year's resolutions fail. Not don't work, fail. And before you say people are lazy, no, that's comforting, but it's false. These are smart people, educated people, people who can run companies but can't keep a 10-minute habit. So why do intelligent humans keep losing to basic self-control? Well, because you're trying to solve a biological system with a moral lecture. And biology does not care how badly you want something. I don't respond to speeches. I respond to physics.
Motivation. Motivation isn't fuel. It's a mood. And moods fluctuate. Systems collapse. You don't build bridges based on how inspired the engineer felt that morning. And discipline? If discipline worked the way Instagram says it does, gyms would be empty by February. But they're not. They're packed in January, awkward in February, abandoned by March. Discipline isn't rare. Consistency is. And consistency doesn't come from force. It comes from alignment between what you want consciously and what I tolerate biologically. When those two disagree, I always win. Meet Suzanne. January 2nd, living room, candle lit. She sits down like she's signing a peace treaty with herself. New planner, gold pen, slow, deliberate handwriting.
This year will be different.
She closes the notebook, smiles, relief. We've outsourced our courage to stationery. When change feels starry, humans turn it into a ceremony. Here's what actually happened. Suzanne didn't change anything. She symbolized change. And symbolism is cheap for me. It gives emotional relief without behavioral risk for about 48 hours. And that relief is exactly why nothing changes. Let me explain what's happening inside me simply. I run on prediction, not happiness, not growth, efficiency. The unknown costs less energy. The unknown gets taxed. This is called status quo bias. Every new habit you try, I add friction. Every old habit, even the ones ruining your life, I discount them. I would rather keep you mediocre and alive than ambitious and uncertain. That's not cruelty. That's survival software written over hundreds of thousands of years. You call it self-sabotage. I call it risk management. Now, meet Mark. Mark doesn't write goals. He records them. Front camera, good lighting, confident tone.
This year, I swear I'm locked in.
He posted. Likes roll in. Fire emojis. Applause. You filmed the promise. Your brain filed the applause as proof. So to me, your brain, likes feel suspiciously close to achievement. So I quietly ask, why change when you already got rewarded? Now Jeff. Jeff loves systems. He doesn't avoid work. He prepares for it. Planner, apps, timers, color-coded ambition.
One more plan, then I'll start.
He closes the laptop. Silence. Your rituals are expensive distractions dressed as discipline. When preparation feels like progress, progress feels dangerous. Because starting creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is my least favorite emotion. I know what one of you is thinking right now. This is cynical. No, it's precise. Another one of you is thinking, so am I doomed? Also, no, but you're playing the wrong game. You've been negotiating with motivation instead of redesigning the system that controls me. And that's why resolutions fail, even when you mean them. Especially when you mean them. You might be waiting for motivation right now. Don't. Motivation is a weather pattern. I operate on architecture. So instead of asking, how do I feel about this habit, ask something far more dangerous. What would make this inevitable? Let's do something that actually rewires me. Pick one resolution you failed at. Not 5, not a life makeover. 1. Now forget meaning, forget discipline, forget identity. Ask only this. Where is the friction? Not emotional friction, physical friction. Is the gym far? Is the app buried in folders? Is the bad habit closer, faster, cheaper? Because here's the rule I never break. Whatever's easiest wins. Every time. You don't lack willpower. You built a system where the wrong thing has priority access. You didn't fail your habit. You optimized against it. Most people protect their bad habits better than their goals without realizing it. Action. Reduce friction by one step. Not motivation, not mindset. One step. Move the shoes to lead the shortcut. Expose the good habit to daylight. That's enough to start a cascade. Here's why this is not self-help nonsense. Neurons fire along paths of least resistance. That's neuroscience. Energy flows where resistance is lowest. That's physics. Your ancestors didn't decide to conserve energy. They survived because bodies that wasted energy disappeared. Same law, different language. Your life follows physics, not intentions. And once you see that, you stop blaming yourself and start redesigning. Remember the clean desk? New apps, perfect layout, nothing shift. Because perfection introduces resistance. When everything must look right, nothing moves. If your smallest deliverable needs branding, you've already lost the war.
When perfection enters early, execution leaves quietly. You weren't procrastinating, you were decorating avoidance. Here's the rule I actually obey. The smallest version that counts. No branding, no optimization, no audience. Private, ugly, real. One sentence, one action, one output. Do it once, then stop. Because repetition teaches me more than intensity ever will. I don't learn from promises, I learn from proof. This is why people who barely try often outperform people who go all in. They feed me evidence, not speeches. Ancient traditions understood this without MRI machines. They didn't chase transformation, they built rituals so small they escaped resistance. Light the lamp, walk after dinner, sit at the same place. Identity followed behavior, not the other way around. Modern culture reversed it. Now you try to feel like a different person first. That's backwards. Identity is not the cause of action, it's the residue. Stop saying, I want to. That keeps negotiation open. Say instead, I'm the kind of person who walks after dinner. No drama, no debate, no hype. Identity reduces friction because it closes the argument. When identity is clear, motivation becomes optional. This is why habits attached to identity survive stress and others collapse. Someone is still resisting. I need pressure. I work better under stress. I need consequences. No, You need fewer fantasies about who you are under ideal conditions. If your system requires daily heroism, it will fail the first boring Tuesday. The brain doesn't resist effort, it resists chaos. And chaos is what most resolutions are. Let me leave you with something uncomfortable. Designing better habits is boring work. That's why most people prefer dramatic failure. Failure feels meaningful. Design feels invisible. But design compounds, quietly, relentlessly. You don't need a new year. You need a new system.